Well, here we go. Here it is. I ended up just doing it just because I had an hour or so free just now. I figured, screw it, let's put the diodes in here. So there's a bunch of LEDs here. There's 10 specifically. I'm trying to figure out the best way to shoot it because if I put it a bit too close, there's a bit too much flare. Oh God. The first two on this side are from the 4017, and then the next 7 are from the 4024 7-bit binary counter. So that's just dividing down, and this clock only actually uses the first 4 bits. The last 3 aren't used, and then the final one is just a clock pulse. So if we take the top off, it's currently on advance, so you can hear it really quickly. So if you look here, you can see that I've just I basically put a bit of Vero board on there on the battery base. So the only modification that I did was drill a couple of holes onto the battery holder that isn't used anymore, and then basically just wired it up via this ribbon cable to the back. I've used some pretty big resistors. In the end I used about 2.5k just to keep the current low. It should be alright. The only one that I reckon might be straining potentially at some point is the 4024, because there is at one point all 7 LEDs on that going, but it's just a bit quicker than just having a buffering it with transistors. However, if the 4024 breaks, then I may do that, but I don't think it will, because these are pretty faint. And I did it so we could have best of both worlds. So as you saw at the start, you could see it without it even being, without an acrylic on the front, just the old cover, because the old cover says clock department, Bradford. Yeah, well, you could see the pendulum rocking back and forth. This one doesn't have a pendulum. Now it's been digitized. Sort of, it pretty much is a digital solid state clock, I guess. So it's got all the binary bouncing bit register thingamajiggies. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, it only uses the first 4 bits, which divide it down to a minute, which is pretty cool. So divided by 32. But I figured I should show you this because I want to ask you the question: do I go for a clear front or do I keep this? I like this. I did it so we got the best of the both worlds, so you could see it even in the original front. But then you don't see all of it. Question 1, do I leave it completely with the front on normal so you can't see any of this? Number 2, do I go for a completely clear front? Or number 3, do I go for a red tinted front that also has a couple of lights, maybe on the sides of the acrylic case that point into the clock face, maybe, or in there, like backlit, like there's a couple of lights on the side. Oh, and then it's all red like the Google counter thing. I don't know. It's pretty cool. Anyway, let's just leave it for a light show for a couple of moles.